Shalom. Thanks for being here today. Today I'm talking about secrets. Okay, there's all different kinds of secrets, and I'm talking about how you get involved with them. There's some secrets that you're involuntarily drawn into them. Okay, there's some secrets that we keep and we don't reveal unless we've got a guilty conscience or something makes us reveal the secret, or people want to pull us into a secret that we have an option of either hearing it or not. Okay, so I've got three little incidents of that. Okay, the involuntary secret. Floyd and I lived in Michigan at the time, in Morenci, Michigan, and his mom and sister and brother lived in Detroit. His brother passed, and they had him cremated, and his ashes were put in an urn and given to his mom. So a little time later, his sister and her husband wanted to come out to the farm, and that was unusual. Okay, because we were about 2 hours away, and we had animals out there, and his sister didn't care for animals, and so we said, yeah, yeah, come on, we'd love to see you. Okay, so when they got there, his sister was carrying a brown grocery bag that had been rolled down from the top, and it looked like it was kind of heavy. And when you walk into my house, you kind of come in on a mud porch. It was a enclosed, but it wasn't part of the inside of the house. And so it was a shelf that was running along with windows all alongside. So she set it up on the shelf. So I said, what is that? She said, David's ashes. It was for his brother. I said, David's ashes. I said, wasn't his ashes supposed to go in an urn? And so she said, yeah, but they all wouldn't fit in. Floyd, come here. And so we had this conversation out there like, so why y'all bring the ashes here? Because she figured we lived on a farm and we could bury them somewhere out there on the farm. So I said, "What about your mom?" She said, "Oh, no, 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 we ain't gonna tell her nothing." So this was a secret that the mother died first before all these other people. Dad, because her sister's gone and her husband's gone. Okay, Floyd's gone now, and so I guess I'm the only one left that knows the secret. But anyway, so now I'm gonna tell you this. This was long before Torah, because I would have not kept them ashes. So Floyd and I said, just to kind of keep the peace, we would keep the ashes. So we dug a hole, put the ashes in it, and then put a tree up on top of that and packed it in. And that was, the ashes situation. So that was something that we kind of involuntarily got into, because if I think that if we had told them to take the ashes away, it would have caused an offense. And at the time, we didn't know that it was an offense to Father for us to make our house there a graveyard unless we was going to corner that off or something. Okay, so that's involuntary. Now, the ones that we keep because we don't want nobody to know. And this was what happened. This is Arthur Bailey at House of Israel, taught a lesson on it. I'm not sure what it was, but part of it was, if you have anything that you've been holding back from somebody, you need to go to them and ask for forgiveness. Okay. I think before he even finished that lesson, he might have been getting ready to go to the Q&A. Okay. I got up, and Floyd always was in the back in the kitchen because he helped serve after the service. So I went to the back, going to the back. I said, Floyd, I got something to tell you, and I really need your forgiveness. And Floyd said, I'm going first. Okay, so I said, what he got? Okay, so it so happened that when Floyd and I first married, I guess it might have been a year or so afterwards, I decided, okay, that Floyd was going to give up smoking. Okay, so I guess he had no option but to go along with it. And so I construed this this ceremony that we was going to go through, so it would make an imprint in his mind. And I invited my mom and dad, who also lived in the same building with us. It was a four-family flat. Floyd and I had the two apartments, and we broke open the wall, and we lived upstairs. My mom and dad lived downstairs. Okay. So we had this little ceremony and, congratulating Floyd on, giving up smoking or whatever. So I thought that he had given up smoking back in the early 90s. Okay. But here we are up in the 2000s or something like that, because we didn't get to HOI until 2014, but he hadn't been smoking, but he didn't stop back when he said he would. He didn't stop until like 2003, 2004, when he actually retired from work, because he said he would smoke at work and then he would just make sure that he was all right when he came home. Okay. So I looked at him, but I had to understand that it wasn't him really giving it up. It was me kind of orchestrating this giving up, for him. And I said, okay, I understand. I forgive you. And I'm going to tell you, I forgot what I asked him to forgive me about, but anyway, he did forgive me. And so, and it's a freeing of your mind when you do that, to kind of get it off your chest, so to speak, and to be upfront with someone. Now, a secret that you could either buy into or not buy into. Okay. And this was with my mother. My mother was in several nursing homes the latter part of her life. And when she first went into nursing home, she was all right. But we were in Alabama, and she would rather be in a nursing home like a assisted living or something like that. I forget what it was, but she was walking around good. Most time people thought that she was a guest visiting somebody, but she'd rather stay in that home than to live in my house, and we would keep the tour. Okay. So when she did get down where sometimes she would be bedridden for a certain period of time, when I walked in to see her, and she could see the concern on my face. And she said, you think I'm dying, don't you? And so I ain't gonna lie, I said, yeah. And so she said, well, she said, eventually I will. And so we was talking about something. So I said, Mama, I said, is any wisdom you want to share with me, before you do go, and I'm thinking it was months before she actually passed. Okay. And so she said, no, she said, I've given you all the wisdom I know. She said, but I got some secrets I could tell you. And I said, oh, that's a way. Hold it. Because I'm going to tell you why I said hold it. My mama came from a family that they had a lot of secrets. And a lot of these secrets would come out when somebody died. It was no holds barred. Okay. That people at the repast, they may be all right at the repast, because repasts were generally at the church, okay? But then when they came home to somebody's house, it's like that, it was all this, girl, don't you know so and 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 so. And it got so that, okay, now Floyd couldn't even sit through none of that. I would sit through some of just from my curiosity sake, but then I had to pull away because it was just too much. Because once you hear some stuff, you can't unhear it. So when Mama said she could share some secrets with me, like, I don't know. So I said, well, do any of these secrets have anything to do with my quality of life or something that I really need to know? So she said no. So I said, okay, well then you don't have to share any of them secrets with me. Okay. But we have to look, because I'm going to tell you, curiosity will sometimes get us into a lot of trouble, because some of them secrets I knew were probably about people that I knew. And to know some of those secrets, and and I don't know where Mama got the information from that she telling me, but this could have been, she said, he said, she said, they said, and then she said such and such. Okay. So all this junk in my head, and it's affecting how I view and think about folks that I may have to interact with. So I didn't want any part of it. So be careful what you hear, okay? And those things that we we do hear. Here's a scripture, and it's Philippians 4:8. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. So we have to watch our minds, because our minds, and like it says, it's a terrible thing to waste, but it's a terrible thing to put junk into your mind, because when junk goes in, junk is going to come out. So I hope you can relate to this, and please like and share and subscribe if you haven't. Shalom.